Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn. You know how sometimes you meet somebody and you just really connect? Well, this is one of those people. Sheila Unique is a trainer and speaker. She's an expert in the field of teacher efficiency and student achievement. She lives in Saskatchewan, Canada. Is it still cold there right now?
No, it's beautiful here.
Well, I know it's beautiful there, but is it cold there? Anything under 80 degrees to Southern Californians, you have to understand, is cold.
Okay, then it would be cold here.
I've not been to Saskatchewan. Have you, Daryl?
I have not. I've been around it, but not in it or through it. Yeah.
Yeah, Toronto, I think. Is Toronto close, Sheila?
It's not. It's two provinces over.
Oh, well, that shows. Well, that's okay. I don't know where Wyoming and Delaware are either, so we don't talk about geography much. Anyway, let's talk about what. I'm sorry?
There's a reason for that.
And there may be a reason for that, yes. I was not very good in geography class in junior high school. Sorry, Mr. Bose. Let's talk about what you do. I mean, you're a speaker. You're a best-selling author. Tell me about your background. Tell us what you've done.
My background includes many trips to India. It includes being in a place where I have, the whole experience of walking through writing the book and it becoming a bestseller. Being in a place where I've worked with now teachers, helping them to be, like you said, more efficient. It's always been about moving through life, experiencing problems, and being in a place where, this is what's happening. How can I feel more empowered to move through? That's part of the education in India that I experienced, part of being a member of the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council, going global.
And we are very proud to be partnering with the Evolutionary Business Council, actually.
Wow.
And yes, if you want information on the Evolutionary Business Council, you can always go to ebcouncil.com. Is it .com or .org? .com. And to find out more about what they do. They're here today to make tomorrow better. The Evolutionary Business Council. You do a lot of different things. You're a healer, you're intuitive, and you are concentrating right now on working with teachers to make them more efficient to help prepare students for the future. Would that be a good definition of what Sheila Unique does?
It would. I love empowering what I call the frontline influencers of children today so that all of us can experience a stronger, more peaceful world tomorrow. And one time I thought, is this about empowering children? Yes, but it's through those that mentor them. And every day we get to experience that just by the learning that we all walk through ourselves.
When you were a kid, when you were in school, did you have good teachers, bad teachers, or a mix of both?
You talked about geography at the beginning of the show. I was in grade 6, and I remember having to go to the front. Interesting, you would bring up Toronto. I had to go to the front and point it out, and I couldn't. It was not a passion of mine globally where everything is, and she made me feel very small. And I still remember that to this day.
Yeah, that's awful. I can remember my 5th grade teacher saying, "It's art time, everybody. Put your stuff away. Mark, you don't have to do this. Just take out a book and read." Seriously. I couldn't draw. I didn't draw. I still draw like a 2nd grader.
Well,
it's not one of my skills. So how do we get teachers who really don't understand and make people feel, as you said, small? How do we train them to be proactive, which is an acronym that you've come up with?
I've been in the classroom with a teacher for 6 months. Every week I got to go in and experience moving with the teachers, moving with the students, indoor and outdoor activities. And along my journey in that 6-month period, I observed how teachers got to the place where they were frustrated. And I always talk about teachers being in a place where they can generally control their classroom through their lesson plan, through how they structure everything. But once they leave the classroom, they can't really control the people around them. And a lot of times it puts them in a place of feeling frustrated and overwhelmed. And my whole focus on using the acronym PROACTIVE is about helping them to be in a place where they can move through that frustration and overwhelm and be in a place of sensing calm and in control within themselves.
But you're talking about outside of the classroom in their own personal lives? Do they bring that lack of control into the classroom and over-control at that point?
Beautiful question, Mark. Whenever we're in a place where we're bothered about something, it could be at work, it could be in our personal life. When we're frustrated and agitated about something, it's hard to just shut that off, and if it's at work, shut it off at work and then go home and life is wonderful at home, and then shut off home and then go to work.
Oh, come on, Sheila. We know that's easier said than done.
Believe it.
Right? I mean, you're sitting in a classroom, I can imagine, working with students and thinking, gee, should I have left Billy at home today? I know he wasn't feeling well. Should I have stayed with him? That's just one thing that just popped into my head. And that would cause frustration for the teacher.
You bet it would. And how many, and yes. So, for example, Mark, those teachers, they're taught how to deal with the students. They're taught how to manage, if I could use that word, manage the classroom and how to present maths in a more empowering way. But not always are they taught about how, okay, so now you've got frustration because you're right, the student isn't, showing up or they're not feeling really great. So they're dealing with that. Then they leave the classroom. And they're in the staff room, and somebody in the staff room brings up something that really, now it kind of makes them mad. Like, why would a teacher say that? Or, I can't believe they emptied my cup of coffee. I was just fresh. Okay? So, yes, then there's problems. But, the fact that there are problems in the classroom, and then the problems that compound outside of the classroom, can put a teacher into a state of frustration and overwhelm.
How do you bring that overwhelm down and funnel that into a form of creativity so that the teacher is happy and, more importantly, the students are being properly taught and mentored?
One of the gifts that I have is being able to hear someone's problem, may it be expressed globally or may it be expressed individually, and be able to present that, turn that information around to present it in a more positive light. So, for example, if they're frustrated about something a teacher's done in the staff room, emptied their cup of coffee or, threw out their booklet that they were, looking for, to be in a place where you start to recognize there is a problem is huge. Because a lot of times people just go around their day, they haven't stopped to even think that there's a problem, but they're angry and now they're upset there and they go back into the classroom and now they're not as patient maybe with the student. They're a little more frustrated with the student. And that impacts the students, that impacts them as adults in the future.
The other day, you and I were talking, and I kind of groaned, and you said, "Oh, what's the matter?" You remember?
Yes, I do.
And I said, "Oh, my back hurts." And I said, somebody told me that lower back issues can be a sign of you're worried or stressed about financial difficulties. You wanted to mention that it could be more than just that.
that was a beautiful experience with you, Mark, because you were in a place where you had mentioned, it could be financial. When people are in a place where they see their problem and they lock it in as far as, that's what it is, that doesn't always allow for the other possibilities that could come along. So when it does come to back problems, the back represents so many amazing things when it comes to what's communicated through the physical body. It could have to do with support, being supported, because your whole back supports your whole physical being. Back could be related to being backed into a corner. If you're in a place, for example, Mark, if you know something you're struggling with the radio show, and I can't imagine that would happen, but then all of a sudden you're feeling backed into a corner. That also will impact any pain type sensations, any tightness that you could be experiencing in the back.
Interesting. And
so it was so beautiful for you to put that forward and allow me to just show you another way to look at it.
And to bring that into a classroom, a physical problem that a teacher may have can be evidence of a problem that's not happening in the classroom, but someplace else.
Well, and if I could put it towards like students too, Mark, if a student on the day that they're doing public speaking to present their project, and the student shows up and their stomach is really sore and they find it so hard, and the teacher says, okay, are you ready to do your project in front of the class? Oh, I can't, I don't feel very good. That's one way that it's also expressed as far as having a problem with the physical body. So it can be expressed, yes, through back when there's financial, when there's structural things going on. It can also be expressed through the students. So a teacher who's frustrated and all of a sudden starts to get migraines, okay? That could be from putting a lot of pressure on themselves about what's going on outside the classroom, and then being in a classroom that it doesn't show up so efficiently, because now they got a headache and now they're not focusing so much on what the students are really doing. And if I could put that around in a different way, when we're excited about life, we're there to support the students, to move them. We're there to support our family. But when we're struggling, it's not so easy to support others.
Absolutely. And that's one of the main things that you do with your program with teachers. We're going to have Sheila back because we're out of time now, and we'll bring her back in a couple of weeks and continue this, because I think education is important. If you're happy and you're relaxed as a teacher and as a student, you're going to learn more and, of course, be healthier. You won't have that stomach ache. You won't have that headache. And that would be a good thing overall. Do you have a website where people can visit you?
I do. It's theuniqueapproach.com.
Theuniqueapproach.com. And I had made a promise to Sheila that I wouldn't tease her about her unusual name.
Thanks, Mark.
Hey, thanks a lot. Sheila, we'll talk later, okay?
You bet. Thanks again.
Thank you. All right, Sheila Unique, The Unique Approach here on Late Night Health. Don't go away. Robert Clancy's coming up, and we'll be talking to him in just a moment. Don't go away.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate a lower tax bill. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will fight for you using industry secrets that can stop any IRS actions, eliminate penalties and interest, and reduce your past tax bill so you pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the Tax Doctor now for a free IRS audit emergency review.
800-663-5107. 800-663-5107. 800-663-5107. That's 800-663-5107.